What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Broadway Joel, the voice of Dominican boxing, and today we have a special guest come and join us, Jeison Rosario, the last unified Dominican world champion we've ever had, the second unified world champion we had. The first one was Carlos Teo Cruz back, I want to say in the '60s, where he beat Hall of Fame Puerto Rican fighter Carlos Ortiz, and excuse me, that's going to be a great interview. I'm really looking forward to this interview. Again, he was unified champion, the last unified Dominican champion, and it's a fight I saw personally, so I'm excited to talk about that. He also has a very interesting story how he got into boxing, and as well as he had a rough life growing up. So I definitely want to ask him about that. He also has a fight coming up against Joelvis Gomez, the Cuban, who's 5-0 at 154. I thought Jeison Rosario was done with the 154 division. I thought he moved up to 160. His last two fights, I believe he had two or three fights, and some were even at super middleweight. So Jeison Rosario just looks big. I'm pretty sure you guys in the comment section, you guys would agree with me as well. Yo, he just. I remember seeing him against J Rock. He just looked like a monster in there. He looked big for that division. I thought him moving up to 160 was good for him. Like, now you can eat a little bit more, you can hydrate a little bit more. Those extra 6 pounds, they make a difference. So I was hoping for that. But now this fight coming up against Yoel Ruiz Gomez, I'm not sure what the money is like, but it's at 154. So I definitely want to ask him about that. I want to see what he says as far as you know, why he decided to go that route and go back down to 154. But hey, maybe he knows something that I don't, that was happening in his training camp that now is not happening. Maybe he changed his diet. Maybe I have no idea, but that's the reason why I have this channel, because there's questions a lot of you guys have as to why he's moving down to 154, and I'm gonna get the answers. I'm the voice of Dominican boxing. You know what I'm saying? There's no doubt about that. So you guys have questions, I'm gonna provide the answers. Luis, de lo mío, que lo que, saludos, de lo mío, tú sabes, de lo mío, estoy aquí tranquilo, estoy aquí, vamos a hacer una entrevista al hermano de nosotros, Jason Rosario. Estoy esperando que él llegue. Rosario ya está en Estados Unidos, en campamento. He's asking, is Edwin Rosario, you hear me? Jeison Rosario already in training camp here in the United States. From what I understand, he is. Yo tengo entendido que sí, que ya está entrenando en la Florida. I think he's training in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, from what I understand, he's already in training camp. And because honestly, when we were trying to schedule the interview, I had wanted to do it Friday. I was like, hey, let's do it Friday or something like that. And he was like, nah, man, that day I work. I'm not at work. You hear me? That day I'm training. At the time that worked for me, he couldn't do it because he was like, no, I'm in training camp and stuff like that. So yeah, he is already training, man. And I hope he's training hard. And I hope him moving down to 154 is not a sacrifice. I mean, making weight is always a sacrifice, but hopefully it's not a sacrifice to the point where it's going to hinder his performance. I'm hoping maybe he got a nutritionist now, or a chef, or a new diet, or or strength and conditioning coach. I hope something changed in his game plan to make the weight more comfortably, because to me, honestly, I think he would fight better at 160. I think that's a better division for him. But again, that's the reason why I'm gonna have him on, because I have questions and I need answers. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, he'll join us soon. I already sent them the link. But as you guys know, so if you're Dominican, you know that we never on time for anything. But that's perfect. It gives me time to talk with you guys and have a conversation as far as Jeison Rosario. Jeison Rosario, man, he's somebody who I I'm a fan of, because I know he got power, man, and I love knockouts. I love knockouts, and I know he got power, and he's respected amongst the Dominicans. When I talk to the Dominican other boxers, they respect his work, and they tell me, he's a good fighter. I just, taking shots to the body seems to be a problem for him. Unfortunately, we that's how he's been. I just hope that that's something he could figure out, and that's something I'll also ask him about. Like, why has he had trouble going to the body? Is it, was he cutting weight improper way? Was he in a sauna, you know, 5 days in a row before the weigh-in, and now he's not going to have to do that? Or is it that, he wasn't doing the proper ab work? Or is it that, he just can't take it well to the body? Who knows? I don't know, but these are questions I'm definitely going to be asking. Lubin stopped him to the body, as well as Charlo stopped him with a jab to the body, like that, which was very strange. I definitely want him to explain some of these things, but I'm looking forward to this interview. I really, really am. Louis says, good. I don't want him to come to get the check like Fortuna. This fight can put him back, I guess, on the map. You meant, yeah, put him back on the map. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Listen, this prospect who's 5-0. I mean, this guy who's 5-0, Yoelvis Gomez. Bro, he 5-0. You putting him in against a former unified champion? I don't know, man. Listen. I'm not even being biased. Jason Rosario should get this guy up out of here, man. I'll be honest with you. This is a guy. If he wants to still be a player in boxing, knock this guy out, man. Ain't nobody who 5-0 could be, especially knocking you out. He can't stop you to the body and none of that. Get this guy the fuck up out of here. Knock this dude out. I'm not saying in 1 round or 2 rounds, but knock him out. Knock him out. Make a statement, especially if you could make like a knockout of the year type, knockout. That'll definitely put you on the map. 154 is a deep division. Maybe you can then call out Lubin, who beat you. Say you want that rematch and you want to earn your spot back. This will be a perfect time to fight Lubin, because Lubin is coming off a really rough fight with Fundora. So if his comeback fight, is against you, that's perfect. You getting him at a weak position. That but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Do you know the venue for Rosario's next fight? I actually do. It's at the in Minnesota, the Armory. He's fighting on the triple header card. It's going to be Yoelvis Gomez versus Jeison Rosario. There's heavy rumors that David Morrell, the super middleweight, is going to be on the card as well. And they haven't announced the third fight, but I'm not quite sure. But there's going to be a triple header, I believe, November 5th. Let me double check that. November 5th, like early November. They're gonna November 5th. They're gonna have a triple header on Showtime. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I hope that he can get Yoelvis Gomez the fuck up out of there and make a statement like, yo, I'm a player in this boxing game. And just any other questions you guys got? Oh, hold on. Vi sus últimas peleas y no se vio bien. Yeah, I know. He said he saw Peter saying that he saw his last couple fights and he didn't like how he looked. He didn't look good. And I can't even argue, like, as far as, well, I don't know. I don't know if he's talking about his recent fights, the ones in DR, or if he's talking about his fights that he lost, the ones to Lubin and to Charlo. But I'm assuming he means to Lubin and Charlo. I mean, hey, you got to be honest. I honestly thought he fought good against Charlo. He just eventually got broken down to the body. And I just didn't like how he got stopped to the body with a jab. That I honestly, I'll be honest, I wasn't feeling that. I wasn't feeling that. I'm like, yo, what's going on? You can't take it to the body. You can't take a jab to the body. And don't get me wrong, I'm not in there taking punches. So, easy for me to say from the couch, yo, you can't take that punch. But you're a professional fighter. I've been watching boxing for quite a bit. I think that's the only time I've seen somebody get punched to the body with a jab and get stopped, And it's a 3-belt it was a 3-belt unification championship fight. I would think that, you'll be able to take that. But again, these are questions I'm going to be asking. I'm Like, as y'all know, I'm the voice of Dominican boxing, but that don't mean I'm gonna tiptoe around some tough questions. I'm gonna ask him like, "Yo, what happened there? I never seen that before. Like, what? Why is it that it seems like you can't take it to the body?" I am gonna ask that question. I am gonna ask, about address the rumors about, Samson saying he blows up to 200 pounds between fights, which I'm not so sure that's true now that I think about it. Yo, he be six packed up, man. Like, I just think he's just a big boy. Like, hold on, let me screen share this from his Instagram. Like, to me, that don't look like a super welterweight. To me, that don't look like a 154 pounder. I don't know. Like, that dude look mad big to me. What do y'all think? Right in the chat. Does this dude look like a 54 pound? To me, he looks like a 68, 60. Trying to see another picture. No, he's a little small there. I don't like. I gotta ask him about the blonde hair too. Yeah, man. Like, this dude is big, man. Well, all right, there he looks trim. There he looks trim actually. But you see, see what I'm talking about. He's six packed up. I don't know if it's him blowing up to 200 pounds. I'm not so sure that's true. I'm not so sure that's true. Oh, Peter's talking about his fights in DR. I mean, sometimes you fight to the level of your competition. I know Jason's a good fighter. That's one thing I will say. Jason is a good fighter. Sometimes you fight to the level of your competition, and maybe you don't look as good, but I think he's talented. I just don't know if that weight, man, that 154 is the way to go, man. 154 might not be the way to go. He's fighting. Let's find his weights for his last two fights, because I believe one of them was at super middleweight. Like, this dude is a heavy guy. He's gonna trim down from super middleweight to 154 pounds. I don't know if that's a good idea, man. Let's see. All right, so he's had 3 fights since his loss to Lubin. The fight after Lubin, he fought at 168 pounds and a half. 168 pounds and a half. That's not even super middleweight. That's light heavyweight, because anything over 168, that's light heavy. So he came in as a light heavyweight, small one, but light heavyweight nonetheless. Then his next fight was at 160. Then he fought again at 162. So 162 is also super middleweight, because anything over 160 is super middleweight. So he's going to come down from super middleweight to super welterweight. Again, once he's on, I'm definitely going to be asking him about this. I have questions and I need answers, man. Hold on, man. I might have to text this dude. Hold on, guys. He's not responding to. I'm gonna text this guy. Oh, I actually don't have his number, so I'll text the guy who could hook this up. My bad, guys. I'm just trying to get them on for you guys. I'm trying to make sure everything's good. So I'm not over here texting my girl, and I want you guys hopping over like, yo, this dude texting somebody now. All right. I hit somebody up who, works in between us, see if he could contact him and maybe get them all in. Why would he choose all this hard opponents back to back? Ask him that question. Well, to be fair, he fought Charlo. Right? Well, hold on. He fought Julian Williams to become the unified champion. Boom. His next fight was a unification fight. I'm not gonna knock him for trying to be great, trying to unify the belts. He tried to fight Charlo. I mean, he got dropped 3 times. But hey, man, he went out there. He fought. He like, besides him getting dropped, he didn't look like he didn't belong in the ring. And then his next fight, the WBC puts him in position to fight for an eliminator. I can't advise a boxer to not take that fight against Erickson Lubin. And honestly, I don't look at Erickson Lubin as this killer, like, oh my God, he's so dangerous. Why would he fight him after losing to Charlo? It's like, Lubin's a good fighter, but he should have been able to beat Lubin, to be honest with you. He really should have. And he didn't. He lost that fight, got stopped. And then since then, he's taken 3 easy fights in DR. Guys 17-5, 12-5-1, and then a guy who's 12-1-1. Relatively easy fights of unknown opponents to get his name back, to get some wins back on his record. And now he's fighting Yoelvis Gomez, who's who people were propping up to be this, good Olympic fighter and stuff like that. Like I don't think this guy is this killer. Yoelvis Gomez, good fighter, but if Jeison Rosario, look, you saying, look, Charlo, Lubin, now this Cuban guy. But who's this Cuban guy? Like, you acting like first, and you acting like Lubin's a killer too. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Lubin in his next fight got stopped by Fundora. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how Lubin's this killer. He should have avoided him. And also, Jeison Rosario is not in the position to be choosy or who he fights. He's not no A-side. He's not no big draw. He's not this future Hall of Famer who gets to pick his fight. Nah, he's somebody who now was at the front of the line when he had 2 belts. Now has to be in the back of the line because he took 2 losses by knockout. Now you're in the back of the line. You got to earn your way back up. Listen, this is boxing, bro. This is boxing. If you want to fight, you got to fight the best. If you want to make moves, you want to, advance your career and shit like that, you got to fight. You got to fight people. But other fighters get promoted and move little by little. Once he got that title, he went after all the big dogs at the championship level, as he should. As he should. Isn't it? So we complain when fighters don't unify and fighters don't fight the best, but when they do fight the best and they take a loss, it's, why he's taking these hard fights. What kind of boxing fan are you? And Juan, you my guy. You know you my guy. Because what if he would have beat Charlo? What would you be saying then? You get what I'm saying? You're looking at the loss. It's like, okay, he lost. He faced one of the best. He was trying to be great. He could have easily lost to J-Rock, but he didn't. He won. You get what I'm saying? I don't understand. I don't understand that level of thinking, to be honest with you. I don't understand. What's up with this dude, Jason, man? Let me see if because now this guy's not even responding. All right. I mean, it'd probably be the first. Hopefully that this isn't the case. Hopefully he hops on, but because I got some good questions that I want to ask him and shit. I messed up not hitting him up yesterday. Like, just remember tomorrow. But the thing is, he reposted my thing on his IG. Like, I don't understand. Yeah, he posted that thing on my IG. Whatever. On his IG. Cuban dude looked like he walks around at 170 plus pounds. I mean, listen, size ain't shit because Jeison Rosario probably walks around at that same weight too. Probably walks around at that same weight too. I'll be honest with you. So, I'm not necessarily worried about Gomez weight bullying, Rosario. Because we're being honest, that's what everybody was saying. Yo, this dude need to move up to 160. This dude need to move up to 160. Why he need to move up to 160? Yo, he's huge and he seems like he can't take it to the body. Signs that, he's cutting too much weight to the point where somebody just touching you to the body with a jab and you falling. You know, I hope that's not the case. And to be honest with you, anybody who I've seen not be able to take it to the body, I've never seen them like, oh, after this training camp, they were able to start taking it to the body easier. And it's like, I've never seen that. So hopefully, I don't know what can be done. I see people like banging like medicine balls on their ribs and having other fighters punch them in the stomach. And I'm not quite sure what that does as far as your punch resistance there and to your body. But yeah, like I don't know if he's doing that, and I don't know if that improves taking it to the body. But I've never seen a fighter have trouble with that and then eventually lead up to being able to take it to the body. Never. Damn, I should hit up Samson. Nah, I don't want to bother Samson. Yeah. Damn, man, this dude making me look bad. Yeah, y'all know for a fact I be getting these interviews. I sent them the link, I sent them everything. He hasn't even responded, which is worrying. Like if he would have responded, yo, my bad, if something came up, then I would have been whatever. Something came up, I know what to do, but he hasn't even responded, nothing. Whatever. If anything, whatever. I'll just be live. And I'll talk with you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put the link in. I'm gonna put the link in here and have a conversation with you guys. In the meanwhile, yo, anybody wants to call in, and if y'all could do me a favor, please call in because I was not expecting to go to be doing this in the sense of going live, just talking with y'all. I was expecting the interview. That's what I prepared for, but the link is pinned to the top of the chat, man. Click that link, man. Somebody, one of y'all or two of y'all. Let's have a conversation while we wait for Mr. Jeison Rosario to hop on, man. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. I would appreciate somebody called in so we could talk some boxing. It don't have to be about Jeison, nor does it have to be about Dominican boxing. It can be about anything, but Dominican boxing is always welcome on this channel. That's what we talk on this channel, Well, not the only thing we talk, but it's definitely the most, the majority. Which oh, by the way, what'd y'all think of my interview yesterday with Michelle Rivera's father, man? That's content nobody giving y'all. Be honest, nobody giving y'all content like that. I'm interviewing fighters' fathers. That's interesting. Yo, and by the way, next week I'm interviewing should I announce it? Yeah, fuck it. I'll announce it. I'm interviewing Edwin de los Santos' manager. He also manages Luis Reynaldo Nunez. Let me see who else he manages. He manages a few fighters. But yeah, this is a good get for me. A good get. Yeah. Hold on one second. I want to see if I can find his roster of fighters. By the way, anybody wants to click that link and have a conversation with me, please do. Yeah. So he manages Edwin de los Santos, who I mentioned already, Luis Reynaldo Nunez, and he manages this guy. I've never seen this guy, to be honest with you. Michael Ramirez Santos. He's a 154-pounder. He's 12-0 with 8 knockouts. Some Dominican. He's 23 years old. I mean, his record, he's faced a bunch of nobodies. No disrespect to these people, but like their records are horrendous. But hey, he's 23 years old. I can't expect him to be fighting killers at this point. But yeah. I mean, that's a good get for me too. That's also content nobody's doing, And obviously the interviews is going to be in Spanish. All my Saturday interviews are going to be in Spanish, because I realized like I got a lot of Dominican subscribers, and a lot of them complain to me, "Yo, bro, you speak in English," and I'm still gonna speak English. Majority of my content on this channel will be in English. It's just you know, I gotta do something for my Spanish speaking brothers who don't speak English and they want to support, but they like, bro, you speak in English. I don't understand it. So I'm like, you know what? At least you have a day that I'm always gonna provide you with content where you can at least and again, I'm gonna give you some interviews that are strictly in Spanish. You don't have to wait for me to translate because you understood what the guy said and stuff like that, you know. And again, some of y'all bilingual, some of y'all speak English and Spanish, so y'all gonna be enjoying it like it either way. Like, all right, I'll speak Spanish anyway, so I'll listen to it. So yeah, this Saturday I'm gonna be interviewing Tony Tineo, who's the manager again of Edwin de los Santos. That's probably his most prominent. Him and Luis Reynaldo Nunez, which my man Ari is really high on Nunez. Yeah. Spanish Saturdays, forget the haters. All right, my man Francisco, shout out to you, brother. Yeah, man, I had to do something for my Spanish brother, my Spanish speaking brothers, man. I definitely had to do something, and I gained mad subscribers from that interview. I don't want to say mad subscribers. I gained like 7 or 8. You know, that's a lot for one day for me. You know, so I was like, oh shit, yeah, you know. And then again, I'm gonna do it this Saturday, and not just doing it just me speaking Spanish. It's gonna be me interviewing somebody, and then the next week after that, I'm not gonna announce that one, but the next week after that, I'm gonna have another guest on. So it's like I'm gonna constantly like my page. If you've been following me since the beginning, it's you've seen the growth little by little. You've seen a lot of little things change, and this is one of the little things that are changing. You know, just throwing a little some Spanish salado, you know, and talk some boxing with my peoples. But guys, anybody who wants to call in, ask me a question, even if you want to talk about the Canelo Triple G fight yesterday, you definitely could talk about that. Click that link. We can talk about it. I also want to talk about Bam Rodriguez, man. Bam Rodriguez fought on the undercard against Gonzalez. And I remember I was telling my brother, my brother who's like a casual boxing fan. I was like, yo, this guy's going to be like one of your favorite fighters. This dude is nasty. Yo, he's a future superstar. Blah, 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 blah. This, that, and the third. And I got him all hyped up. And yo, he got touched up, man. He definitely didn't look as impressive as he did against Quadras. It definitely didn't look as impressive as he did when he fought SSR. So I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, well, I was just very disappointed in his performance. He got the win. I thought it was a legit win, but I was very disappointed in how he performed. And he fights a guy like you know, Chocolatito or you know, Estrada or one of these guys like that. He may not come out winning. You know, he is very young. He needs to work on a few things, man. I don't know what was it. He just couldn't get off, and he was there to be hit. He wasn't like as fluid with his defense as much as I thought he should be. So I was very disappointed in Bam Rodriguez. As far as the main event, yo, I don't know what Triple G just seemed like he couldn't get off. I don't know, like he just was really like just satisfied with jabbing. He wasn't really pressing the action. He wasn't really trying to, you know, win. He was just kind of like trying to like survive. I was scoring the fight. I scored the first 8 rounds for Canelo, and then I kind of saw that the fight wasn't really changing. So I stopped scoring. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, and yeah, I as the fight was going on, Triple G maybe had like maybe one or 2 rounds. By the way, the scorecards were horrendous, man. They were so close. One had an 8-4 Canelo, and 2 other judges had a 7-5 Canelo. Yeah, you can make the argument Canelo won every single round. Why was the fight so close? I was like, I don't know, man. That was a horrendous fight. It was boring. And, you know, there wasn't much buzz in terms of like people weren't like super duper excited for this fight. It wasn't like people were blowing up my channel. Yo, I can't wait for Triple G Canelo. Oh my God. But there was a buzz in the sense like, all right, this is the end of a chapter. Canelo can knock this dude out, get him out of there, and potentially be, make a statement, make an exclamation point to this rivalry. But it didn't happen. Like it just, he never even hurt Triple G. He never even hurt this guy. He just won easy. And to Canelo's, I guess Canelo could have pressed the action a little bit more, but not really. Like he was already dominating the fight. I don't feel like he was being super duper defensive where he was making it a boring fight. He was throwing punches, but in order to make an entertaining fight, you have to get something from your opponent. You know what I'm saying? To a certain degree. Obviously, you could press the action a little bit more, but I didn't feel like Canelo was being so inactive with his activity. I felt like he was throwing punches. I felt like he was throwing right hands, and he was landing some punches, but Triple G was doing a really good job of controlling the distance a little bit and using his jab to, controlling distance with his feet, I'm saying. And also in combination, using the jab to keep Canelo at a certain distance where if Canelo closed in, Triple G could land a punch and hurt Canelo. But again, Canelo's too smart for this. Canelo's too smart. Wait, are you talking about the sparring last night? Yeah, man, that's basically what it was, the sparring session. Bivol still beats Canelo in a rematch, though. I don't know why Canelo want to face that man again. I honestly, I have no idea where Canelo goes next with his career. I have no idea. Because does he fight better Biev? I don't know if that's a good idea. Does he fight Charlo? I think he beats Charlo. Does he fight Benavidez? Listen, he said that he don't fight Mexican fighters, and some people consider what's his name? Benavidez a Mexican. Some people don't. He was asked about that yesterday. Shout out to Sean Zattel from Fight Hype. He asked him, hey, although Benavidez is of Mexican descent, he's also half Ecuadorian. He was born in America. Does he count as a Mexican? And Canelo didn't really give a straight answer. His response was, he was like, hey, listen, you guys just take that clip and put it out. I'm willing to fight anybody, but his father be talking a lot of shit. But who has Benavidez fought? He's fought one champion his entire career, Anthony Durrell. He's like, come on, he hasn't accomplished nothing. So I'm like, although true, that's not answering the question. The question was, do you consider David Benavidez a Mexican, and would you fight him? So I think the would you fight him part is put it like this. If I ever interview Canelo, and that's not out of the realm of possibilities, considering how much connections I'm building, I'm going to ask him, do you consider David Benavidez a Mexican? Boom. That's going to be the question. Do you consider him a Mexican? Now, would you fight him? Do you consider him a Mexican? And by the way, I'm not criticizing Sean Zattel. Please don't make it seem like, that I'm saying, seeing how Canelo answered his question is making me adjust how I would ask my question to Canelo. That's what I'm saying. I just want to make it clear, because shout out to Sean Zattel. He's a very good journalist. Yeah, so damn, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so that's what I would ask him. And then based on if he says yes, so I'm like, okay, so you said you wouldn't fight Mexicans. Is he so he's off the book? You don't want to fight him? That's it. Like I want to corner him into a corner and ask this question, because I've always had the thought like, no, he'll fight Benavidez because Benavidez was born in America and he's Afro-Ecuadorian. That's always been my train of thinking. Because I'm like, if he doesn't fight Munguia or Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, like honestly, I'll be honest, that's not a fight I'm clamoring for. That's not a fight I'm banging the table for. Like, yo, I need to see that fight. That's a fight I have to see. Is like, sure. Like, if I see it, I see it. If I don't, I don't. Especially the Munguia fight. Like, Munguia's done nothing to earn a fight with Canelo. So, the only fight that I'm like, oh, that's a fight I kind of be disappointed if he won't fight him just because he's Mexican, is the David Benavidez fight. So, I kind of want somebody to corner Canelo in that, and to answering that question, does he consider David Benavidez a Mexican? And then depending on his answer, my follow-up question would be either, if he says no, he's not, I don't consider him a Mexican, then I'll be like, oh, so you would be willing to fight him since you wouldn't be fighting Mexicans. If he says yes, I do consider him a Mexican, so I'm like, so you wouldn't fight him because he's Mexican? You know, it depends. It depends what answer I get from him. If not, if when I interview Canelo, I'm gonna ask him that question, man. I just don't. But me, by the way, if I'm not gonna say if. When I interview Canelo, I don't think it's gonna be like something like how I'll be having here, like, well, I'm gonna send you a link and then you just click it, and you know, I think that's gonna have to be something where I'm at a press conference and he happens to be there, or I'm at a gym and he happens to be there, and I get the opportunity to interview him. And I'm hopeful. I'm not hopeful. It is gonna happen that way. I'm gonna be going to Vegas, interviewing somebody in the gym, and Canelo's gonna go in there for sparring. He's, oh, yo, can I get an interview? He's gonna say sure, and I'm gonna ask him the questions that I want answered, man. But guys, if you guys want to call in, man, you guys will be doing me a favor. Click that link at the top of the chat. We can have a conversation. I'm gonna give this dude a full hour. I'm gonna be on here a full hour until I hop off, because I really don't want. I made a dope flyer. Hold on. Yeah, I made this myself. So since we're on the topic of Jeison Rosario, and I was gonna interview him. Look at this flyer. I made this myself. How fire is this? Is this fucking flyer right here? Look, I got my symbol here, my logo, Broadway Joel with the lights. By the way, I got the best logo in boxing YouTube. Broadway Joel. So it has the lights. Like if it's Broadway, you know, when you on Broadway here in New York City, I'm from New York City, got the lights, and then I got the boxing gloves hanging. So I got the best logo here. Then I got the font that matches somewhat what the lights and everything looks like. I got the background that matches my logo. Interview with Jeison Rosario. I got a picture of him right here. It says Voice of Dominican Boxing. I made this all myself, man. So I'm kind of proud of myself, how I did it. I'm not really like the most techie kind of guy. And I did all that. And I'm like, damn, this dude not now. I'm like, and now he's not hopping on the live. What's up, man? Yeah. Nah, I mean, listen, Almontas, Canelo ducking Benavidez. I don't know, man. I don't know. To be fair, I don't think Benavidez beats Canelo. But I will say this. Is Canelo Asian a little bit? I don't know. He didn't look as sharp as he usually does yesterday. And you know, he's somebody who fights active, somebody who like, I don't know. There's rumors that he had a knee problem or something like that. Like, I don't know. He's 32 years old, and 32 is not old at all. But he is somebody who trains a lot. He's fought. When you active, that means you in the gym all the time. I don't know if he's just burnt out a little bit, or if excuse me, or if he's just breaking down. I don't know. So there is that. But if you're telling me Canelo's at his prime, he just needs a long layoff and then come back, I think he beats Benavidez. I don't think Benavidez brings anything to the table that Canelo can't handle. Like, yo, Benavidez squares up. That, like, was sniffing coke before, missing weight. Like, I like, how dedicated are you to the sport? You know what I'm saying? When Canelo's out here in the gym 25-8, not 24/7, 25-8, he's in the gym. So it's like, I don't know, man. I really like that notion that, and at one point, by the way, at one point I saw Benavidez's viciousness. I'm like, he has a legitimate chance at beating Canelo. But I was like, he has some flaws, but he'll develop out of that. And he just never developed out of that. So I'm like, I don't think this guy beats Canelo. Like, if you're just gonna sit there, square up, Canelo fucking eat your ribs. Canelo will break your jaw. Like, you can't just square up in front of Canelo. And yeah, you might try to go and use your size and bang with him. That might not be a good idea because Canelo will catch you with a punch you don't see because he's a great counter puncher, a fantastic body puncher. Yeah, I think he breaks down Benavidez and stops him like in the 6th or 7th. Like, I think that it'll be that disgusting of a knockout he would. Benavidez is basura. Gets styled on by Caleb Plant 10-2. Caleb Plant, I think he has the skills to beat Benavidez. I don't know if he has the conditioning. He does. He is somebody who gasses out a little bit. We gotta check his birth certificate. You know, I don't know if that Dominican curse kicked in on him. But nah, he's somebody who I don't know if he has the condition or the power to keep Benavidez off of him. But as far as skills wise, let's just say you promise me, he's not gonna gas. I would pick Plant to beat Benavidez. I think he has more skills. If you're undisputed, you have to take the top contenders. I mean, sure. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I mean, but once he went undisputed, he moved up to 175 and took on the number 2 ranked light heavyweight. Yeah, he lost, but whatever. Point is, that's the type of fight he fought after becoming undisputed. He moved down, coming off a loss. He fought Golovkin, a unified champion, moving up to the division, who, I'll be honest, I didn't think it would be a competitive fight, and it wasn't a competitive fight. But I'm not going to criticize him to the nth degree. Like, if we look at who Charlo's fighting, Benavidez is fighting, Andrade is fighting, like, we look who they're fighting, we're like, all right, like, those motherfuckers are worse than the guys Canelo's fighting. Like, at least Canelo's fighting. Like, you want to criticize his opponents, you can't say they're fucking straight garbage. Like, and I'm not calling all of their opponents that, but like, you look at these guys' resumes and it's like, all right, bro, could you guys fight each other? Like, could you guys do something? Could Charlo, one of these guys, like, I don't know. Like, you guys are claiming he's ducking you, but like, oh, hold on, guys. I may have the guy on. Hold on, guys. I'm talking with Jason. I'm feeling a lot better, but I'm worried about what he just wrote to me, but hey, I got him on. Whew. All right, let's see. I'm not gonna. We're talking privately, so I'm not gonna say what he wrote to me. But it looks like it looks like he's not gonna hop on. But he just responded to me. Well, what he wrote to me is not officially that he's not gonna hop on, but it's kind of like worrisome. I'll just say that. But I just responded to him. That's the important part. No interview. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. He just responded to me with something that I don't like, but it wasn't. Yo, I'm not gonna hop on. It was something else. Like, but it could be. Hey, if you give me 10 minutes, I'll hop on. It could be that. I don't know. It could be. Hey, I need 20. I need 30 minutes. I don't know. But point is, we're in communication. He hasn't responded to my messages, but point is, he responded to me. That's what got me feeling better. Man, all these lives I be wanting to call in, but I'm at work. Yeah, man, bro. I always put that link in nobody calls in anymore. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I scared people off. I used to always get people calling in. Now I'll be pulling the link to the top of the chat. Y'all be looking at that shit like if you click on it, I'm hacking into your computer. Like, I never get calls in. I don't know what happened. I mean, I always get viewers. And I appreciate all the people in the chat. I always get comments in the comment section. Like, I still get my views. I've been gaining a lot of subscribers, but for whatever reason, I haven't been getting as much callers as I used to. I don't know what happened. I don't. It was weird how that transition happened. But and I've been providing y'all with content. I've been providing y'all with interviews and shit like that. So I don't know what happened, but hey, it's all good. Can't. Oh, hold on 1 second. All right, he's coming on, fellas. He's coming on. He's coming on. All right, there we go. All right, hold on, fellas. Hold on, fellas. See, this is what happens when you preach patience and because I could have easily just hopped off a half, 20 minutes ago and be like, oh, he didn't hop on. I apologize, but nah, he's hopping on. I just got to give him a minute to set up, though. He said, which is fine. Hey, take. At this point, I waited long enough. I'll wait some more, man. I'll wait some more. I don't have no problem with that. Anyways, yeah, but getting back to what I was saying, yeah, nobody calls in as much. I don't know. I had one dude, XL, he's called in a few times. Also, like I'll be honest with you, like I don't know if it's the time that I be going live. I used to go live every now and then on a Saturday at noon. Uh hold on. I'm texting with Jason Rosario, excuse me. All right. Hopping on, just give him a second, guys. Again, he's setting up. He gotta. I guess I don't know if he got to go to a different room or if he got to connect to the Wi-Fi. He's getting the Wi-Fi password. He said just give him a second and he'll hop on. So any minute now, we'll be having Jeison Rosario again. It should be a good interview, man. I got a lot of cool questions to ask him, and yeah, no, we're in the process of finally getting him on, man, because I don't know what happened. You might have been stuck training or something. I mean, it's Sunday. I don't know if you train on Sunday, but I don't know. Point is, he's in training camp, so I honestly think that the providing an interview is probably on his lowest list of importance. But point is, I'm just glad he responded to me. I was so worried he wasn't gonna hop on, man. Yo, again, I did the fly. So by the way, the fly I showed you that I made myself. I paid Instagram. I promoted it on Instagram, so it could get more traction, more people aware of it. And I'm like, yo, now this dude not gonna show up. I was gonna be stressed he didn't show up, but again, he's currently responding to my messages, so that's important. Yeah, man. Whatever. Point is, all right. Okay, all right. He's hopping on in like 5 minutes, he said. So we'll be good. We'll have him on. So I want to apologize to you guys for, telling you it's gonna be at 11 and now it's 11:49 and he's still not on. Que lo que, mi hermano? No, nada pasó. Jason Rosario, parece que se le olvidó que la entrevista era a las 11 y me dijo ahora que él va a entrar. Pero tú sabes, después que está tarde, estamos bien. Jason Rosario, ¿cómo está, mi hermano?
Estamos bien, gracias, papá Dios, hermanito mío.
No, muchas gracias. Primero, Primeramente, quiero darte las gracias por darme el tiempo de usted para hacerte esta entrevista. Yo sé que usted es un hombre ocupado y está en campamento y todo.
Está bien, manito mío, no importa, usted sabe, estamos ready para aquí, para los dominicanos.
Así mismo, así mismo. Yo te voy a hacer la pregunta primero en inglés, después en español, y cuando tú hables, yo lo voy a traducir lo que usted dice, ¿ok?
Ok.
Okay. So first, I wanted to ask you, what part of the of Santo Domingo are you from? I know you're from the capital city. What part specifically? Yo sé que usted es de la capital allá en Santo Domingo. Quería saber de qué parte de la capital usted es.
Yo soy el Sánchez Payá y 24 de abril.
All right, so he's from a specific area of the America of the capital city was the 24th of April. That's the name. All right. Why did you choose boxing and not baseball? Because you know in the Dominican Republic, baseball is probably like the number one, uh, uh, you know, sport in the country. ¿Por qué elegiste el boxeo y no la pelota? Porque tú sabes que en la República Dominicana el béisbol es lo que manda. ¿Por qué elegiste jugar béisbol? Digo boxeo.
Ellos dicen un dicho o una canción dice así, que si del cielo te caen limones, tenemos que aprender a hacer limonada, ¿tú me entiendes? Entonces, yo, real, de verdad, yo no tenía el talento así suficiente, yo sentía que no tenía el talento suficiente para yo como ser un pelotero así de grande liga y llegar así a lo más alto como lo están un sinnúmero de jóvenes que ahora mismo están bien posicionados en el béisbol, ¿tú me entiendes?
Pero tú llegaste a jugar, tú jugabas.
Sí, claro, yo llegué a jugar béisbol.
Okay. He says that he goes, there's a saying that, you know, if life gives you lemons, make lemonade. He goes, he never felt like he had the talent to like make it to the major leagues. You know, like he played baseball coming up as a kid, but he said that, you know, there's a lot of other kids who, you know, he just kind of noticed he wasn't that good enough to like make it far in the sport, in baseball. Uh, from what I understand, you came from a very poor background. I kind of want to touch into that if that's okay with you, as far as how was it you growing up. Yo tengo entendido que usted se crió muy pobre y quería hablar sobre eso. Quería primeramente que si podía tocar ese tema con usted, pues, si estuviera bien.
Claro, hermanito mío, yo pasé la mil y una, como se dice en dominicano, yo vengo desde abajo y me considero un guerrero porque no todos que vienen de abajo, no todos que están abajo, tú sabes, pueden salir hasta el floor, hasta la superficie y sacar la cabeza y poder decir, wow, lo logré, ¿tú me entiendes? Sí, yo pasé mucho trabajo, llegué a pasar hasta hambre en algunas ocasiones.
Yeah. He says that he came from the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the bottom, that he's come from a very poor family, and that there was days that he would be hungry, and you know there wasn't no food, so like he definitely went through a rough childhood. So I saw in an interview where you spoke about where your mother sometimes wouldn't eat so you and your sisters could eat. Can you touch on that? No. Yo vi una entrevista que usted dijo que tu mamá a veces dejaba de comer para que tú y tu hermana comieran. Entonces, quería saber sobre esa situación y cómo fue eso.
Sí, claro, mi mamá en una ocasión, nosotros estudiábamos en el barrio y nosotros vivíamos eh, en un lugar que le decían Pantoja y nosotros teníamos que levantarnos a las 4 de la mañana todos los días para poder llegar a la escuela a tiempo. Y mi mamá cuando nos dejaba en la escuela, yo recuerdo que ella se quedaba fregando platos, limpiando casas y eso, y mi mamá lo hacía por ¿cómo se podría decir? Por el pasaje de irnos para la casa y para volver al otro día a la escuela y por comida, literal. Y Y mi mamá decía, mi mamá nos daba la comida, y ella decía que si nosotros comíamos, ella se sentía ya llena, y ella se sentía satisfecha. Ella no necesitaba comer, y mi mamá se puso flaca y decía que estaba, mi mamá decía que estaba enferma, porque, porque ella no comía casi.
No, y los compañeros de escuela te decían que tenía sida porque de la flaca que estaba.
Sí, 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 sí. Y en el barrio me lo llegaron a decir, me dijeron que me decían que mi mamá estaba enferma y tenía cita y eso.
Yeah. So he said that where he lived in Dominican Republic, that his school was very far away from him, and that him and his sisters had to wake up at 4 a.m. to get to work on time. Get to school on time, and that a lot of times, so when he would be leaving, his mom would have to go to other people's houses, clean people's houses, do people's dishes, and a lot of times, like all the money she worked for was just money for them to get to school and for food. That's it. And that her mom used to tell him, like, them being full of food is enough food for her. So that it got to a point where her mom got really really skinny, and a lot of people would say she was sick. Some of the kids, even from his neighborhood, would say, like, wow, like your mom has AIDS, just because how sick she was. I mean, excuse me, how skinny she was, and people would say that she's sick. But he came from like a really rough background, and part of that was you know having to see his mother struggle, not eat so he can eat. So I saw in that same interview where it was very far for you to get to school. Like, what was the process of getting to school? Uh, uh, and why did you have to wake up at 4 a.m. to get there? Entonces, yo tengo entendido que tú vivías muy lejos de la escuela y que te tenías que levantar a las 4.
Sí.
¿Me puede decir el proceso, cómo tú llegabas a la escuela?
Oh, claro, yo recuerdo que nosotros nos levantábamos, teníamos que caminar para la parada de autobús, oscuro a las 4 de la mañana. Primero nos levantábamos allá en la casa. Yo tenía que obligatoriamente, porque mi mamá, en esa hora no había luz, y yo tenía que agarrarle una vela a mi mamá para que mi mamá peinara a mis hermanas, y entonces salir para el autobús. Teníamos que caminar alrededor de 700, un kilómetro, 700 metros, un kilómetro, más o menos, hasta donde estaba la parada. De luego el, eh, el autobús nos dejaba en el Centro Olímpico, y de ahí nosotros teníamos que caminar hasta la escuela que todavía está ahí, en el ensanche Luperón, que era como más o menos un kilómetro y medio más o menos. Todos los días tenemos que caminar a pie de ahí, porque no porque no había vehículos para llegar a la escuela, sino porque no había plata para pagar otro vehículo.
So I asked him to break down the process of how he used to get to school. So he said that he would have to wake up at 4 in the morning with his sisters, and it would be dark outside, and there's no light because it's 4 in the morning, and that he didn't have electricity. So he used to have to hold the candle while for his mom, while his mom like brushed his sister's hair, and he had to walk from his house to the bus stop, which is about a kilometer from his house. And then the bus used to drop him off at the Olympic Center in Dominican Republic. And then from there, he used to have to walk another kilometer to school. He goes, either a kilometer and a half. And he goes, and that was every day that he would have to do this process to get to school. So I also have that. So you ended up dropping out of school at 14 to focus strictly on boxing. What was that decision like, and how did your mom take it when you told her that you were going to take this process, that you're just going to strictly focus on boxing? Yo tengo entendido que usted dejó el boxeo, la escuela a los 14 años para enfocarte estrictamente al boxeo. ¿Cómo fue esa decisión? Y cuando tú le dijiste a eso a tu mamá que tú ibas a hacer eso, ¿qué es la reacción de ella?
Mira, yo no te voy a la mentira. Yo, yo dejé la escuela, pero literal, ya yo estaba independizado, ya, porque yo recuerdo que mi mamá no estaba aquí en el país. Mi mamá estaba en Venezuela.
Mm.
Ya yo podía tomar una decisión, o sea, por mí mismo, porque yo estaba independizado. Ya yo no tuve que ir darle una explicación a nadie, decirle a una persona, ah, mira, yo voy a dejar la escuela por tal y por tal. Nada, yo dejé de ir a la escuela y ya, y bueno, gracias a Dios que pudimos echar para adelante y pudimos, ¿cómo se podría decir? Que nos dio resultado de una u otra forma el boxeo.
Yeah. Entonces, ¿con quién tú vivías si tu mamá estaba en Venezuela?
Yo vivía con unos boxeadores que recuerdo que esos boxeadores me acogieron. El principal que notó el talento y eso, Vicente de la Cruz, mi entrenador de base, como mi papá, y que le dicen Finfuan y Jennifer Vicente. Ese es el rayo.
Ujú.
Eh, Esas dos personas me acogieron prácticamente desde 14, 15 años más o menos la edad. Y nada, o sea, yo dejé la escuela porque, eh, ¿cómo se podrá decir? Yo un muchachón ya así, un poco ya adolescente, y yo veía que ninguno de los muchachos estudiaba y eso, yo dije, no, yo voy a dejar la escuela y me voy a poner para lo mío, que en ese entonces era el boxeo. Y, y entonces de ahí vino la decisión de yo dejar la escuela y eso.
Yeah. So, yeah. So he says that he was already somewhat independent by the time he was 14. He said his mother had moved to Venezuela, and that he was living with some boxers who took him in, and so one of his trainers, and who he looks at as a father. And he said that, you know, he saw that a bunch of the other kids wasn't going to school, and they were focusing on his career, on their boxing stuff. So that's what he decided to do. And that he said that at that age he felt like he was already independent. He didn't have to give an explanation to nobody as far as like having to drop out of school and focus strictly on boxing. He said that that's his decision he made on his own. And yeah, that's pretty much what he said. Okay. It and now that you're you you know, going into that fight with J Rock, when you won and you got the knockout, you became unified champion. What was the process like thinking about your journey as far as like, wow, you came from this poor dirt road, you know, where you didn't have electricity, you know, to now becoming a unified world champion, being the underdog, knocking down the champion in his hometown. Like, what was the process like that night? Tú tienes como una vida como muy interesante y llegaste a ser campeón unificado, ganándole como hembra al campeón en la casa de él, en la ciudad de él. Esa noche, ¿cómo fue ese proceso que estaba en la mente cuando tú llegaste? Wow, logré el meta mío, ser campeón mundial, especialmente campeón unificado.
No te voy a hablar mentira, yo no, eh, yo simplemente decía, antes de yo ser campeón del mundo, yo simplemente decía, yo quería, ya yo venía eh, ganándole a buenos peleadores y eso antes de yo ganarle a Williams. Eh, pero ya yo venía eh, con la mente así, yo no quería de verdad, de literal, como que no era como, oh, wow, un sueño. Yo quería conseguir como para yo poder hacer una casa de mamá, literal. Yo no quería, o no que no quería, claro, todos lo queremos, pero como que no era mi fuerte, así, wow, yo sí,
No
yo
era lo que
quiero.
te motivaba.
Sí,
Lo que te motivaba era comprarle una casa a tu mamá.
sí, yo decía, yo quiero conseguir suficiente dinero para yo poder conseguir, para yo poder, yo decía, yo quiero una pelea buena, ya, yo no, y yo incluso yo le decía a los amigos míos, yo le decía, yo no le pido tanto a Dios, yo no le pido tanto a Dios, yo no le pido que yo quiero ser campeón del mundo y que nada, yo quiero nada más que me permita conseguirle que me permita conseguir para yo comprar una casa de mi mamá. Y, y cuando yo literal, yo entrené duro para esa pelea, yo entrené duro y me consagré 100% para esa pelea. Y cuando yo subí a ring, literal, antes de yo subir a ring, yo decía, yo veía a Williams así, yo decía, ese tipo tiene mucha más presión que yo. Él está aquí en su casa, a mí no me conoce nadie. Si yo le gano, él la moral a él lo va a matar, decía yo. Él tiene mucha más presión que yo. Y yo dije, no te vale, no, o sea, no te cuesta nada tú arriesgarle el todo. No te cuesta nada tú arriesgar el todo y nada, de que yo salí, que sonó la campana, que yo me vi de frente con él, ya yo sabía literal que ya yo le iba a ganar a él. Yo decía, él no termina, yo le decía al entrenador, él no termina, él no va a terminar. En el primer asalto cuando llegué, digo yo, él no va a terminar. Pero cuando me entregaron los títulos, de verdad, yo no lo asimilé como, wow, soy campeón. Luego ya yo dije, digo, de verdad, todo esto me está pasando. Literal, fue algo como que yo lo asimilé después a los varios días, de verdad. Que yo dije, soy campeón del mundo, unificado. Y el único dominicano que ganó 3 títulos en una sola noche, dije yo, digo, a los par de días porque yo pude como analizar y pude como centrarme en esa noticia de verdad. La noticia la sabían muchas personas y yo la sabía, pero literal que donde me golpeó de verdad duro fue boom a los par de días.
Okay. So he says that he says, being honest with you, becoming a world champion wasn't necessarily my goal. My goal wasn't to be this, a world champion. Like, oh, that's my goal. That's my goal. My goal. My goal has always been to buy a house, get money to buy my mother a house. That's always been my goal. That's always been the motivating factor. And he says that in the night of the fight, him walking up to the ring, he goes first that he trained really, really, really hard for the fight against J. Rock Williams, Julian Williams. He said that he trained really hard and walking up to the ring, he looked at J. Rock and he said, all the pressure is on him. He's fighting in his hometown. He's the favorite. He's the champion. He goes, if I beat him, his morale is gonna be totally done. Uh, so basically, like he felt like he had nothing to lose. So he says, I'm just gonna risk it all here. And he said that he knew from the first round he was gonna become world champion, just how the round went. And he said that as far as like when he won the title, he goes, it didn't really hit him. He goes, when he got the titles, when they were putting the titles on him, he's like, what the hell? Is just that's what kind of like when it hit him a little bit. He said that afterwards, when it was like 3, 4, 5 days later, that's when he hit him. He goes, wait a minute, I'm a unified champion. I'm the only Dominican currently with who's unified, who's done this. And he goes, it hit him. All that hit him like afterwards. It didn't hit him that day. He said it took a few days for it to settle in that he's officially a world champion. All right. So since then you've had 2 losses with shots to the body. Some people say that maybe that's because you cut down in weight too much. Samson one time told me in an interview that you be blowing up in weight between fights. That you go to a really high weight and that once training camp starts you try to shrink down too quick, and maybe that has something to do with it. What have you identified the problem as to why you've gotten stopped to the body twice? It después de esa pelea, tú tuviste 2 peleas que perdiste por nocaut, por golpe al cuerpo. Yo le hice una entrevista a Samson y Samson me dijo a mí como que, oh no, que Jason entre pelea, él sube mucho el peso, que sube a un peso grandísimo. Después entra en campamento y tú sabes, como que quiere rebajar para llegar a 154 y cree que eso que te costaba. ¿Qué es eso que como que no puedo coger los golpes del cuerpo? ¿Qué está pasando?
No, realmente es una realidad. Yo en los últimos 2 campamentos míos, Charlo, o sea, para pelear para la televisión, eso, Charlo y Lubin, yo subía mucho de peso. Yo recuerdo que con Charlo llegué en 197 libras al campamento y,
Con Luben.
y con Lubin, o sea, llegué en 203 libras. Yo no justifico mi derrota porque eh, el triunfo va incluido, o sea, con el peso y todas esas cosas, tú sabes. Pero sí he tenido que sacrificar el cuerpo a un punto que, bueno, con la última pelea con Lubin, yo ya faltándome una libra, yo dije, yo no iba a pelear, yo me siento muy débil, yo no voy a rebajar esta libra. Y gracias al entrenador, al físico, que me decían, no, ya, ya tú bajaste, ya tú bajado de ayer para acá, yo de un día para otro bajé literal 16 libras. 16 libras,
En un día.
sí,
Ese fue el
sí,
día anterior del pesaje.
sí.
Wow.
Y el día del pesaje yo tuve que rebajar 3 libras, me quedaban 3 libras, pero esas 3 libras literal yo la vi como 20. Sí, porque ya yo estaba muy, 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 muy deshidratado y la libra no se me querían despegar. Y nada, o sea, yo creo que tengo que ser lo suficientemente varón para yo no echarle la culpa a nadie, no echarle la culpa a nada. Yo creo que yo perdí por mi error. Los errores se pagan. Y, y sí, o sea, ahora yo tengo que vivir con, como podría decir,
La consecuencia.
sí, porque ahora todo el que venga a pelear conmigo, me va a querer tirar por abajo. Pero eso también es un punto a mi favor. Eso es un punto a mi favor. Aparte de que también sí hubo indisciplinas no solamente con la comida, o sea, yo tuve mucha indisciplina en cuanto a la forma de vivir, los desarreglos, como se podría decir, eh,
Como que
calle,
¿ah?
calle. No
Calle.
quería salir de la calle, quería estar en calle.
Con las
eh,
mujeres.
sí, sí, sí.
Y los tragos. Estaban tomando en los clubes y vaina.
Sí, sí.
Okay. No. No, no. Pero ya eso tú lo has corregido.
Claro, 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 claro. Literal, eh, creo que de los errores se aprende. Uno primero que otro, pero se aprende como quiera está aprendiendo y tarde o temprano, pero eh, de los errores se aprende y yo he aprendido bastante. Eh, Me he visto, wow, digo yo sé que yo puedo dar más, pero que cuando tú agarras y parte el cuerpo en dos mitades y quiere el cuerpo, que el cuerpo esté en la calle y esté en el gimnasio, es un poquito difícil porque llega de una rumba, llega de una noche, como se podría decir, de una noche fogosa en la calle. Tú no
Ujú.
te quieres levantar a entrenar el otro día,
Sí,
por más fuerte que tú seas. Y tuve que tomar la decisión, dije yo, ok, te gusta la calle, te gusta el coro, te gusta la chelcha, pero está en la calle y está el boxeo.
sí.
No lo puedes coger los dos. Y todavía en boxeo tú puedes hacer algo, puedes conseguir hacer grandes cosas todavía, tú estás joven. Yo mismo hablándome, tú sabes.
Sí, sí, sí.
Y, y nada, y tomé la decisión de hacer la cosa bien, de dejar la calle. Me quité los amigos que no me convenían, hay amigos que no te convienen, y me alejé de todo eso, tú sabes.
Mm.
Y me siento mejor ahora, me siento mejor y me siento emocionado, de verdad, porque yo sé que ahora cuando suba a ring voy a subir diferente.
Yo, yo tengo entendido que tu pelea que viene ahora va a ser en la 154. Y
Es que
yo pensé que ya tú habías dejado esa división.
no,
Eh,
yo, si no tengo malentendido, en mi pelea en 160. Yo
en
creo que
160.
sí, yo creo que yo no le hago 60, 159.9 a nadie.
No, pues yo leí mal, porque yo leí antes de la entrevista, yo leí que la pelea en 154. Yo dije, pero
No,
ven acá, como que Jason, yo no creo que Jason llegue a ese peso.
no, yo no que no llegue, yo puedo llegar, pero, o sea, el punto es
Sí, no llega vivo.
y creo que yo el Gómez nos vamos a chocar y vamos a estar ready ese día porque lo que yo he podido ver él es un gordito, él se ve, él lo he visto en fotos y eso y se ve que es una persona que yo creo que se le hace difícil dar a 54 también.
Entonces, oh no, pues está bien, en 160 no sabía. Ok, entonces, ok, entrando a este campamento, ¿cuánto tú pesabas?
Bueno, ahora en este campamento yo entré pesando 178,
Ah,
80 libras.
ok, no, porque usted me dijo que en 203 para Lubin, yo dije, no,
Sí, sí, no, pero ya la cosa se puso diferente, tú sabes, hemos cogido, cogido un poquito de cabeza. Creo que los errores no podemos cometerlos siempre, los mismos errores.
sí, sí, sí. No, no, como me dice mi mamá dice que Dios te da un examen y si tú te quemas, te lo da otra vez. Y si
Sí,
te quema otra vez, te lo da otra vez y sigue eso pasando hasta que tú no pases ese examen y deja tú sabes, la rumba, los tragos. Ese reto todavía va a estar, digo, no reto, ese como
examen.
tentación siempre va a estar ahí. Entonces me
Sí,
alegro que tú me estás hablando ahora como que está más enfocado, que está
sí,
entrando al campamento con un peso, tú sabes, que se puede perder. Ah, sí, que hay que perder 18 libras, 20 libras. Así sí, porque
sí,
no es diferente venir de 200 pico a
sí,
154. Yo no sé cómo tú llegaste, tú hiciste el peso.
sí,
Que tú
sí,
pensaste, tú perdiste 16 libras el día antes de empezar.
sí.
No, no, no. No, pero y esta pelea no es eliminatoria ni nada de eso.
Bueno, mi papá Samson me dijo que están haciendo la diligencia como para que sea una eliminatoria. O sea, que hay un puntico más a mi favor, que es los rounds. Era 10, creo que ahora va a ser a 12. Creo que con la experiencia y ya el fogueo que yo tengo arriba, eso va a ser algo a mi favor.
te voy a hacer una pregunta más y después le quiero dar los chances a los fanáticos que están escuchando a ver si quieren hacer una pregunta. Usted dijo que el papá tuyo, Samson, entonces eso es de eso mismo quería, porque esta foto usted lo puso después que ganaste el título. Cuando
Sí.
escuchas la certificación de un padre decir bien hecho, hijo, ¿qué significa Samson para ti, a ti como boxeador y como hombre también?
Samson, miren, creo que para mí Samson como hombre es un varón, un tremendo ser humano. Él, yo creo que la mayoría de los promotores creo que no tienen como el amor que le tienen a sus boxeadores. Y creo que no todos los peleadores tienen la virtud de hablar con sus manejadores, con su promotor. Por ejemplo, como nosotros los boxeadores de Samson, o por ejemplo voy a hablar por mí, como yo, boxeador de Samson, tengo la virtud. Yo llamo a Samson para un consejo y Samson me va a dar el mejor consejo, el que él cree favorable para mí. Yo llamo a Samson, mire, yo necesito un favor y Samson me va a decir, yo estoy aquí. Claro, es un padre que, como te digo, que corrige, porque no quiere que nosotros cometamos los mismos errores siempre. Y siempre está ahí, pero siempre está ahí. Él siempre está ahí para sus boxeadores. Y él me lo ha dicho, yo quiero a mis boxeadores como mis hijos. Y yo lo he podido ver, porque
Y usted lo ve como papá.
sí, 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 yo veo a Samson como un padre. Yo creo que en boxeo y en la vida, Dios no me dio como se puede decir, un padre eh, como, no voy a decir Dios me dio un padre, pero el padre que Dios me dio no supo hacer la cosa bien como padre. Pero en boxeo entré y conseguí 3 padres: Vicente de la Cruz, Finfuan, César Mercedes Manguita y Samson.
Wow.
Que en vez de uno, tengo 3. Son personas que literal son como columnas para mi carrera, para mi vida personal. Porque uno cuando uno está, por ejemplo, vamos a poner en deportes y eso, tú tienes personas a tu lado que wow, te motivan y te sacan de tu zona de confort para que tú logres grandes cosas. Pero literal, en mi vida personal, puedo incluirle a esta persona hasta en mi vida personal también. Eh, Esas personas para mí son de suma importancia y tienen y van a tener siempre un lugar en mi vida y un respeto.
Okay. Muchas gracias por eso. Quiero darle la chance a los fanáticos que lo estén escuchando, que llamen y le hagan una pregunta a Jeison Rosario. Si quieren, dale el link que yo puse ahí en el chat. For those of you who want to ask Jeison Rosario a question, I put the link at the top of the chat. Click the link and you guys can ask a question. If you guys don't speak Spanish, I'll translate for you. I also translate his response. Excuse me, guys, as far as not translating the last half of the interview. It was, these were very, very long responses. So what I will be doing is I will be putting subtitles. I will be cutting this up and putting it out and putting out with subtitles for you guys who don't speak English. But anybody who wants to call in and ask a question, please do. You know, he's nice enough to take time out of his training camp to give us give us an interview. So please click that link and I'll ask a question. So alguien está preguntando en el chat, quién te está entrenando y por qué te fuiste de Chiro?
Bueno, me está entrenando Chino Rivas. Eh, Chiro y yo nos llevamos súper bien. Tenemos, tenemos una relación súper amistosa. Chiro es como un papá para mí también. Creo que Chiro fue una de las pocas, de los pocos entrenadores que, de los pocos entrenadores que se quita el pan de la boca para hacer la su peleadora. Nada, o sea, pasaron cosas que no tengo por qué, o sea, no me siento como con la, como se podría decir, con la confianza para yo ahora decirlo así, delante de todo, así. Pasaron cosas y que, que fuera de mí, ya no estaban a mi alcance. No estaban a mi alcance para yo poder entrenar con Chiro y eso. Chiro es un gran entrenador, es una gran persona y fue con el que entrené para hacerme campeón del mundo y le voy a agradecer siempre a Chiro. Eh, pero ya no, o sea, no, por X y razón no podíamos ya entrenar. Él no podía entrenarme ya.
Ok. Alguien está preguntando, ¿sientes que te presionaron para la pelea con Charlo después del knockout a Williams?
No, no. Me dijeron, ¿qué tú crees de esto? Yo dije, sí, yo dije, literal, me gusta y yo tenía un ego como peleador. Yo me sentía un súper, pero yo había podido ser un súper peleador, pero estaba como te decía ahorita, estaba compartiendo el cuerpo, estaba haciendo cosas que mi cuerpo le estaban pasando factura. Y, y nada, yo cogí la pelea yo la cogí y dije, este tipo yo le voy a enseñar que no es lo que él dice, no es lo que él piensa, no es lo que él cree. Y, y literal, se vio en la pelea, yo le puse presión a Charlo y Charlo se vio en muchas ocasiones, no digo muchas ocasiones, aún tumbándome y aún golpeándome como me golpeó, o sea, se vio que, que hubo algo, un factor que pasó factura en esa noche, que me pasó factura a mí. Creo que Charlo es un gran peleador, le doy todos los méritos, pero, pero Jason Rosario no justifico mi derrota también. Charlo le ganó a un Jason que entrenó, pero tenía su vida compartida en dos mitad, prácticamente. Estaba en calle y estaba en boxeo. Y el boxeo no quiere nada con calle.
¿Cuál es la diferencia tú ves más en subir de peso que, digo, en el ring? ¿Qué es la diferencia que tú te sientes en el cuerpo más diferente que no sentías cuando estaba en la 154?
Bueno, literal, todas esas libras que yo tengo que bajar. Y yo comencé a hacer la cosa distinta. Eh, Son 6 libras menos que yo tengo que bajar. Ya cuando ya llegaba a 160, ya yo estaba un flaco. Estaba,
Pero
¿cómo se puede?
tú te sientes como que está pegando más fuerte, como que está cogiendo los golpes mejor, con más energía. ¿Cómo tú te sientes en
Sí,
el cuerpo?
en todo sentido de la palabra me siento más mejor, me siento más fuerte, un poquito más rápido, eh, con más estabilidad en el peso, de verdad.
Pues muchas gracias, Jason. Tú sabes que tú estás en casa, cualquier cosa, si tú quieres estar en el programa, tú sabes cómo contactarme. Esta es tu casa, Después que tú ganas, yo te voy a tener en el show otra vez, hacer toda esta entrevista y así celebramos juntos.
Ok, gracias, mi hermanito, gracias,
No,
bendiciones.
no, bendiciones a usted y mucha suerte, mi hermano.
Gracias, brother, gracias.
Okay. All right, guys. That was Jeison Rosario, former unified 154 pounder who was kind enough to take time out of his day, give me an interview. He was late, man. He gave me a lot. He gave me a lot, man. I asked him some tough questions as far as, and he was very honest. Yo, he came in. So for the guys who only speak English, excuse me. Like he was going really long with the responses, and I had a few follow-up questions, and then he would give another long response to the follow-up questions. I will be putting editing it up, putting out subtitles for my English speaking fans. So excuse me if you guys didn't understand the last half of the interview, but I promise, again, I will be putting it out with subtitles. But nah, man, he talked about how poor he was, how he didn't have electricity in his house, how he had to walk 1 kilometer to a bus stop, then take to another kilometer to get to school, and then have that to walk that same kilometer back. And it was just like that was the best interview I've had. The best interview. He talked about, he was honest. He said he was out with girls drinking. And he came into the Charlo fight, and he went into camp at 197 pounds. The Lubin fight, 203 pounds. He was honest with me. And that was the best interview I've ever had. And I've had some good ones. Like Samson interview, obviously that was a good one. Carlos Adames was a really good one. What other interview I really liked? Elvis Rodriguez was a good one. I've had some good ones, man. That was the best one. That was the best one. Wow, man. He really got deep, man. I'm a Jeison Rosario fan, man. That's somebody who's honest with himself. Damn, you know what I didn't get to ask him? If he got to buy his mother the house, after he became champion, did he get to buy his mother the house? Because he said that was his motivation, not becoming a champion. But again, me and him, we built a relationship. I felt like he was comfortable with me. If he's comfortable enough to give me that much as far as information, that lets me know that we built a rapport. I'm gonna hit him up afterwards, see how cool we are. But yo, what a fucking interview that was, man. I'm very, very happy with how it went. Even though he came on late. Yo, listen, you're forgiven, Jason. Te perdono, Jason, que llegaste tarde. You're forgiven, bro. That was a fantastic interview. The only question he avoided, and he still kind of answered, was one of the questions from the fans that why he's not training with Cheeto anymore. It's the only question he kind of avoided, and not really. He still kind of gave you a hint as to why he's not training with it. But he was very honest, very candid. I love the interview. I'm staying on lock. It was such a good interview. I'm like such a good move. I'm staying on lock. I was gonna end this. If anybody wants to call in and talk about the interview, click that link or hit me up in the chat. But nah, man, that was a good interview. Wow. And I'm glad that Samson is a guy who's really invested in Dominican fighters, because just based off how he was talking about Samson, how he calls Samson for just advice, and how he talks on the phone with him, how he looks at Samson as a fighter, how he knows that Samson's always has the best interest in him. I like that, man. I'm actually gonna text Samson right after this and tell him, like, yo, bro, this interview went really, really well. And I want to tell you that you have a good person. I don't know if he's the best fighter in the world, or if he's going to become ever world champion again. But I know he's a good dude, man. Somebody who admitted to mistakes. He admitted, yes, I was out partying with girls and doing not what I was supposed to do. And he told me, hey, listen, he cut some friends off. He stopped hanging out with certain people. Instead of coming into camp at 203 pounds, coming into camp at 178 pounds, which that sounds about right. If you're a middleweight, probably walk around 178, 175. That sounds about right. You cut down 18 pounds in a 2-month training camp. That sounds good to me. Ralph, he's fighting Joelvis Gomez, the Cuban, who's 5-0, which again, I want him to get Gomez the fuck up out of there, man. I want him to knock him out. I don't want a decision win. I want him to knock him out. I'm a fan. Listen, man. Just based off the interview, how like honest he was and how much he kept it real, man. Like you got it. I gotta be a fan now. He was honest with me, man. I like it. It looked like he had just woke up from a nap. I think that's what happened. I don't know if you guys noticed that. He looked like a little sleepy, and it looked like he was on it sitting on the bed because he wasn't on a chair. So I think he was sleeping, and then forgot that the interview was at 11, and then he woke up to my he's like, what the hell? My message. He's like, oh no, that's why he was hitting me up. I was like, he was apologizing and through the private messages, but no need to apologize. He gave me a great interview, man, and I'm really satisfied with how it went. If anybody wants to call in, I'll give you guys 5 minutes. For any late stragglers who want to call in and talk about the interview or talk about anything else, please do. I really hope he becomes a player at 160. I really, really do. Because then that means we'll have two players at 160, both him and Carlos Adames. Hey, man, if we could attack, there's 4 titles, man. If we could send 2 guys to try to, hey, man, try to do what you can. Try to get a belt. And who knows? You imagine, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but come on, man. I'm the voice of Dominican boxing. Let me get ahead of myself. You imagine Carlos Adames gets like 2 belts and Jeison Rosario gets 2 belts. Then they fight each other no matter what. There's going to be the first undisputed Dominican champion in the 4-belt era, because we had an undisputed champion in the 2-belt era. I just want to make that clear. Carlos Teo Cruz, do your research. He beat Carlos Ortiz, the Puerto Rican Hall of Famer. Just wanted to say we got one unified undisputed champion in the 2-belt era. But point is, this will be in the first 3 or 4-belt era. I would love this opportunity of it happening, but it just, let's see if now there's no way he could take it to the body. He said that he dropped down 16 pounds the day before the weigh-in of Lubin fight, and then the day of lost 2 pounds, I think. And he said that he saw those 2 pounds as like 20. And nah, man, like shit is crazy, man. Like how this how he's handled his career. I just hope he really, all that, like, yo, I'm taking the sport serious. I hope all of that is true now. I hope it's not something he just making up. It's not something he's lying about. I hope that's true, man. That almost happened. Adames should have beat Patrick if he didn't get too greedy for the KO, and Rosario beat Williams. Oh, wow. No, but Rosario had 2 belts, and let's say Adames would have beat Teixeira, he would have had 1 belt. So it still was 1 belt missing. But still, no, you're right. It could have been a really, really big unification match at 154 for us. I would have loved that. But he does, he does talk about his discipline issues. I just hope he figured that out, man. I hope he figured that out, because right now Dominican boxing is on a rise, man. And the more the merrier. The more the merrier. And hey, he's getting an opportunity. He's fighting whether you want to say, oh, the guy's only 5-0, he's an undefeated fighter, and they throwing him in there because they think he's good. Know what I'm saying? They think he's good. And so if he's good, let's get that. Let's get it. I was gonna ask you, are you familiar with Victoriano Sosa? Yeah, he fought Floyd and he fought Cotto. He got knocked out by Cotto, and he actually fought a decent fight against Floyd, Victoriano Sosa. But I don't think he ever became world champion. Yeah, so, but yeah, I know who he is. Yeah, no, 160. What's the smoke out there? There's Janibek's out there, Munguia's out there, Adames, Jamal Charlo. Triple G said he's moving back down. Lara. There's some fights out there for him. There's some fights. I'm trying to think, on the PBC side. Is Lara's on the PBC side. Charlo, Adames. Those are 3 fights right there that if he fights and moves his way up, he can get those fights. These are, not huge. Some are, none of those fights are pay-per-view fights, but if he just continues on winning, beats Gomez, let's say after that fights a guy who's a little bit tougher and beats him too, and just stay on that winning train, he could get a big money fight, in a sense. Like, he could get a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 fight up in the middleweight division. That is one of the glamour divisions, and he does have power. And again, I just hope he can take it to the body. But all right, looks like nobody wants to call in. I appreciate you guys hanging on, even though he was late. I really, really do. Again, and for those of you who hanged on, you guys got one of my best, in my opinion, my best interview. So you guys really got to see somebody be honest with himself and honest with the public and honest with me. So I appreciate you guys hanging on there with me for this long live, but I really, really do, man. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And all right, guys, until next time, peace.